Alright, let's continue where we left off. But just in case, I will make sure to save. Because right now we're in the Hannah story. I think, right? Oh yeah, we are in Hannah story. Everything got updated right now. Alright, just in case if the recording go bad or something, I'm just gonna save first. I'ma save it to here. Okay, this is Hannah's storyline. It is far too easy to get them to pay attention. Enraptured. They hang on to my every word and follow my every move. All of it will have been stifling and I'm not grown used to such stares. Most are respectful, some are hostile if we are honest, and a few are downright inappropriate. After all, I am.
Kinda right.
There's a moment of agitation as a familiar but less than welcome face approaches me with a suggestive smirk on his face. Of course, I have to keep a benevolent smile and greet him as I greet any good friend. After all, this man can turn heads, being famous in his own right.
Officer Lee! What a pleasant surprise. I didn't think you'd have the time to attend tonight's party.
He is more Luke's friend than mine, really. I am quite sure I only invited his wife. Much like I am only friends with the chief inspector because of Luke. Luke is only friends with Rochelle's because of me. Unlike how I treated Lee, however, Luke never hid his animosity for the Lee's matriarch. It was an odd sort of friendship where we would have awkward double dates. I don't even recall his first name. It started with an N, I think. I might be wrong. Aside from being chief inspector of Luxburn Police, his wife Rochelle Lee Nee Vance owns a general electronics company, fridge and freezers mostly.
Oh, I always have time for my favourite socialite couple. Might I say, you look positively ravishing tonight.
Ravishing.
I see the husband isn't with you.
The way he eyes me up is enough to make my skin crawl. I just wish Luke is here to fend off the more unseemly of our peers. You know the ones? Men who are just a bit too friendly, staring too long at my assets, and getting close just because my husband is not here. And to think they have the gall to do this at my own party. In my own house, if I may add. But like any high society woman worth her salt, I know how to handle it with grace and dignity.
I suppose you are looking pleasant as well. Luke's busy with work, unfortunately. Rochelle isn't here?
A shame. I do hope he isn't causing you much trouble. That husband of yours can be a bit daft sometimes, acting like he's still some young bachelor. The wife sends her regards and her apologies, but something came up with a doctor and she needed to attend to it. You know her, being pregnant and all.
We make small talk. Rather, I'm forced to do so as he would not leave my side after finding his place there. Much to my chagrin, I've been extricated from few who flock in hope of flattering, for I can tolerate them far better than Lee. He is nice enough person and I adore his wife who is obviously the brains behind the two. But there is something unsettling about him. I do not trust him as much as I want to. He regaled to me tale of the Luxbourne Police Department, a different affair to the usual gossips I am privy to, and though I loathe to admit, it is interesting nonetheless. I expect the topic of business to die out quickly, which would be understandable enough due to the confidential nature of his work. But oh boy, was I wrong.
So, we're in civvies, I steal and drive off with one of the police mobiles, right? In the mirror, I see the new tank chasing on foot and screaming about theft. The look on his face was priceless when I parked it in the garage.
Oh my. You made him chase you all the way home for a prank. What did Rochelle have to say about that?
Rochelle has a strange love and hate affair with Lee. He is a married man who did not grow up past his early 20s, judging by the way he acts. Surprisingly now, they have been married for a good 20 years. A lifetime if you compare it to my marriage of 7 years with Luke. I, on the other hand, well, Luke is no Lee. I should be happy about that, I suppose. Although my darling did have his moments.
The wife pulled my ear and gave me a good talking to, though. Besides, we live in a flat a block away, so it wasn't much of a grand chase.
Weren't you living in a house near the countryside?
Moved for work, you know. Or you probably don't.
No, I don't. But a flat in downtown. I suppose if that's what you like.
Oh, it's horrid. Hate that tiny place, no matter how convenient it can be for work. 55 square yards are not enough when you need to get away from the wife. I wouldn't mind a place away from the city. Even started looking at the ads. I spied an interesting lot, actually. Heard it was finally put up for sale. Or that something mansion, you know the one with all the ghost stories.
The Ermagerd Mansion. I know what he is talking about. There are really only a few urban legends around here. It's
The Ermagerd Mansion?
Ermagerd?
That's the one. Worthy of a king it is. I'd buy it myself, but Rochelle would only gripe if I brought it up to her. Not to mention all the expenses a place like that will be a real fixer-upper. You also have to find someone willing to work there with how superstitious people can be.
If it becomes a problem, just hire someone to do an exorcism.
Actually, I do know of someone who could be up to the task. You remember the Ludgates party at their Christchurch summer residence?
Of course. It was an excellent soiree. Everything was so classy too.
Sorry.
Such good taste.
Oh, that place was a pigsty until they hired out this interior designer and they turned it into a bloody palace. She worked for the Exodus for their apartment in Soho too, and they recommended her when we were looking up pieces for our beach house in Porto Colom. I think I have a business card right at... No, I must have left it in my other jacket. Anyway, she's called, what's her name? Marianne, I believe, yes. But truly, if anyone were to get that place in McCullough, well, they'd be the envy and the talk of the town.
Well, if you put it that way, I might just snatch it up for myself. This place was starting to feel a bit small lately anyway.
Sure, a 3-story penthouse might not fit the definition of small for some people. Okay, maybe a lot of people. But it isn't big enough to have grand parties in. As it is, I only invited about 30 people to come to this one, and it already feels cramped in here. It certainly would be nice if I didn't have to ride an elevator up and down several floors before I can get myself anywhere as well. All Luke's words and not mine. Besides, I have been looking for a good anniversary gift. Luke might like this one. Where is he anyway? Luke is dressed to the nines as he usually is, and he looks ready for whatever the day will throw at him. His butler and valet waits at his side just in case he isn't as ready as he looks. Oh sure, that is normal. What is confusing me is the fact he is only his way out of the penthouse, considering we won't have anywhere to go until much later.
Where are you going?
I am to attend the Triad Autumn tasting. I do believe I informed you of this 2 weeks ago.
Yes. And might I remind you that I had stricken that off your schedule? Because 1, the doctor told you to stop consuming so much alcohol. And 2, I informed you a few days ago about the open house we are going to attend in its place. I've even found this marvelous interior designer, Mary Ann McCullough.
It's a 3.5-hour drive to Cardiff. This is like that little party you threw all over again. You don't inform me of it, and you expect me to stay and be a gracious host when I have business elsewhere. You know how I operate, Hana. Unless this was penciled in, I am sticking to my schedule.
If I may intrude, the madam is correct. Your physician did insist you moderate your drinking, unless you wish to incur acute pancreatitis. And you did have this open house penciled in last Wednesday morning.
Bullocks, I don't remember doing so.
Well, you did. While very hungover, in fact.
He did. Moan about me being too loud but gave in after some pushing. Perhaps that was a bit too cruel and manipulative of me, but
Whose side are you on?
Come on, Luke. You promised we'd do whatever I want this weekend.
Gordon Bennett, fine. I am giving this house tour of yours a chance. But if it proves to be a waste of time, I am going to Cardiff and you are going to take a cab home. Are we clear?
it's just a bit of husband and wife tit for tat, isn't it? All couples have their arguments. Once the honeymoon phase is over, as they seem to call it, reality sets in that you and your partner might not always see eye to eye. Perhaps it has been the years. 7 of them is nothing to scoff at.
I just cannot bloody believe I agreed to this. I was really looking forward to the triad tasting.
Try tasting. Though sometimes I think it's something a bit more than just simple disagreements, and I have to stop myself from wondering where we went wrong.
There's always the Triad Christmas tasting in Manchester next month, and that'll only be an hour and a half drive.
Have I been neglectful? Have I offended? Have I acted shamefully?
Yes, but Cardiff.
Certainly any problem can be discussed, as long as he doesn't turn me away.
Well, there goes my good mood. Are you happy now, Hana?
Oh, sorry. Oh, remain silent or defend myself. Relationship with the Luke. Hana, this right now. Now where's the branching at? I think it doesn't matter whatever we answer him, right? If I defend myself, would that minus Luke's points? Let me put you here. Why must he treat me this way? Defend myself.
Yes, I am very happy.
Increase.
Because for once in a very long time, we are doing what I want. I'm ecstatic. Understood?
Ecstatic.
And this would be perfect if you stop acting like a child who needs their nappy changed. We will be leaving after lunch for the Ermengarde mansion.
For the Ermengarde
You are
mansion.
going to park your rear in the car and keep mum. And you are going to behave during the tour.
Wow, Luke's being treated like a baby. Needless to say, Luke looks a bit shocked at my little outburst. He opened and closed his mouth a few times, struggling to reply before he crossed his arms to look like, well, a mopping chow.
Any more rules for this little excursion of yours, Your Highness?
No wine.
No wine? Unacceptable! I am already not allowed to the tasting, and you would deprive me of that simple pleasure?
If I see you take one sip today, I will put the stocks under lock and key. Do you understand me?
No.
Don't forget the bottles he keeps in his dresser.
Whose side are you on?
How many times in one day can you ask that?
As many times as I need you, traitor.
The ride to the mansion is quiet, with Luke having stared out of the window the entire way, not paying attention to anything around him. Meanwhile, I am conflicted. I don't know if I should apologize for changing his plans like that. But by the time we arrived at the mansion and see his eyes light up in genuine interest, apologizing is the last thing on my mind. The whole affair with the Ermengarde mansion is certainly an interesting experience. The place had been renovated and restored by the owners to what they claim to be acceptable standards. The mansion itself looks like something befitting a fairy tale or a period piece. It is tastefully decorated, and with a little bit of love and attention, I'm sure it can be a place Luke and I call home. and a number of other prospective buyers that have come from the powerful and wealthy of Luxbourne certainly did not disappoint, marking this estate as prime property. The last the Lees are amongst the group who went with the Rose Woman, and I saw a few other notable faces, though I did not really feel like mingling. Unfortunately for every one of them, the Wrights are interested in buying. What's been bugging my mind, however, is that Isabelle. What is her problem? I still don't quite understand what is happening. One moment she is scrambling to give us the paperwork to finalize the sale, then she is panicking over some sort of prank letter or another.
Dear me. Is Isabella alright?
It is apparent with the way she shakes, and by the pallor of her skin, something has really shaken her up.
Isabella, do you need me to call that ambulance?
I am worried, but it will be best if she is attended by someone more familiar to her, like her partner. But even then, the girl refuses, rolls off her drink, and looks just about ready to make a run for it.
No, I'm just feeling a bit out of it. Excuse me. I'll be back. I just need to catch my breath.
And she does so, just as I predicted, and her partner follows like a concerned mother. There's an awkward air among us. We are left in a wake of whatever that was. The other murmurs and gossips with each other, speaking of the poor, daft girl and telling the tale to whoever was not audience to the act in the first place. It doesn't take too long for the woman Rose to return and pull us aside into the study for what I rightfully assume is damage control. Rose invites Marianne in too, hoping to apologize to her as well, but the woman refuses, saying she is not one of her clients anyway. That leaves myself, Rose, and Luke, the last all too eager to make himself comfortable with a study he is no doubt already claimed as his own.
I can't apologize enough about what just happened. Please forgive Isabella. She's been under a lot of pressure lately. She's young, and all those rumors about this being haunted just got to her head. And it must be this terrible heat, too. Not a drop of rain for days now.
Are you sure it is wise to just let her go like that? Where is the poor dear? She might get hurt.
She's more likely to hurt somebody else, given what just happened.
I told her to sit down and take a break. Already rang someone to pick her up, too.
That might be for the best, dear. But please, we're here to talk about the mansion, yes?
Yes.
Why, I absolutely adore it. Don't you, Luke? Some of the rooms will certainly have to be repurposed. We want to change the appliances and have Marianne lead on the decor, but the whole thing is just lovely.
I guess. It's certainly a lot roomier than our penthouse.
Exactly. Lots of space for guests, parties, a lot of room for little ones to run around too.
And a lot of places for ghosts to hide in.
Let's not discuss that right now, Buttercup.
Buttercup.
Anyway, I do think it would be a shame to let this mansion slip past us.
But you haven't even finished touring the house.
Well, we like what we've seen.
We got money, we like what we see, then we're buying it. Just like that. I'm making her job easier for her, am I not? No need for loans or long price negotiations. We can just sign a contract and close the deal. Really, you'd think the woman will be more happy about an easy sale. I know how these estate agents work, how long they had to wait and how much they have to spend even just for a single sale. Why, she should be jumping for joy by now. I'm sure the commission on this mansion is nothing to sneeze at, even if she has to split it with the Isabel girl.
Do you think we could have horses here?
Yes, those do sound nice, love. Anyway, if anyone else is interested in buying this property, I assure you that I'm able and willing to give a better offer.
A vineyard would be nice. Or maybe
And we do reward our people quite generously, Rose.
Lucas keep trying to interrupt about what he wants, and Hannah's just too negotiating.
So, if I were you, I would start on that paperwork.
helicopter pad.
I pause, and there's a small moment of complete silence where Rosa and I just stare incredulously at Luke. It is an unspoken understanding, a rule between the two of us that we have to put on an act. With our social standing where image matters, it also important to avoid making enemies. And to follow this rule is an easy feat for me. From youth, I have been well-trained, social, butterfly, gracious and graceful. Luke, on the other hand,
Wait, what, Luke? No, what? Whatever would we need a helipad for?
well, he likes to play the fool sometimes, even if he is anything but. As he throws me a wry smile, I shake my head and beckon Rose over. This is to be our home, and there's nothing else, there's nothing she or anyone else can do to change my mind. This is a place that speaks the power and importance, and at the same time, of safety and comfort. Perhaps we can have our family here. There is definitely no better gift than this for our special date. Why, everything here is absolutely wonderful. Well, except for this ugly painting in the study. It's not a painting though. I think it's a mirror. It looks like a bad fake of an Edward Munch painting.
Here's the deal. I'm willing to pay 10% higher than your listing price.
10% is a lot.
If anyone tries to outbid us, just add another 5%. I doubt anyone can, of course. Or, you know what? Just add 15% to the listing price, and we can sign all the paperwork now.
I guess, if that's what you want. That won't be any trouble. I don't have all the papers now. Didn't think this would be a quick sell. I'll have copies sent to you so you can look over them. And if you'd still like to finish the rest of the tour with Isabella's group, you're more than welcome to.
No, I think we're good here. We'd appreciate a private tour of the place a lot more, I think.
All right. Should I let Marianne in then?
Marianne? Alright, she's been waiting outside the study this whole time, hasn't she? I'll need to have a little chat with her to move this little mansion project forward.
Please do.
There is a look of apprehension when the other woman enters the study. Yet, like a professional, I see the moments when she steels herself and masks her worry. Admirable.
We have this project then?
Of course. Will you be needing anything from us?
Having the floor plans would be a great start, just so that I can look at them beforehand. And if you could tell me when you're available for a meeting so that I can include it in my calendar?
Oh, is a meeting really all that necessary, Marianne? I guess we can send Johans to help you out. You two can start by getting rid of this ugly painting.
A hush falls upon the room at my
What
request.
painting?
And lo and behold, the painting is gone. In its place, a mirror stands which leaves me to look at my own confused expression.
Odd. Well, no matter. Back to the topic at hand. Marianne, dear, we are simply far too busy to meet up.
Question the need for a meeting. Let's see. I want some spoilers. So I think it doesn't matter whichever we go in this two. It still leads to the same ending over here. And this is where it's only start to branch, but it also become one. So let's save. Free up my schedule. Perhaps maybe I should question the need for a meeting. Maybe, Marianne.
But I guess we can free
Increase.
up a day to meet with you. I don't really need another maudlin Monday reading about Maury anyway. The book club can function without me for one day. What time shall we be seeing each other?
Book club?
How does lunch sound?
What? You're busy over a book club? Damn, son. Oops. Besides, my house has a higher priority over book club. Exactly. Book club is nothing. Nobody reads books nowadays. Why, we can hold the next meeting in this place. Exactly. Surely the beauty and grandeur of it all would inspire spirited and lively debates about whether modern day's writer could match up to the classics. I might as well clear up the rest of my week to handle whatever affairs buying this mansion requires of me. Any social activity can be put off until the Ermagerd, or rather the right mansion's great debut. I'll have my fill of great parties and gardening, especially when I organize them myself.
That sounds good.
She shakes her head up and down. She nods, and the boob just goes down and up with it.
Although, with a project of this scope, we might need most of the day to tackle your concerns. A more thorough inspection of the place is also preferable.
Breakfast then. It's a date.
It's a date.
It's really not.
What's with her blushing there?
All right. Monday, 10 o'clock sharp. We'll see you then.
Actually, Marianne suggested that we meet at 9, but who is even awake at that unholy hour? I was lucky enough to wake up this morning before Luke went all the way to Cardiff. We say goodbye, shakes hands, and make it clear without outright saying it that we now own this house. By the time we left the mansion grounds, sunset is almost upon us.
So, you really want to buy this place then?
I want to
That's
buy
a
it.
bit of a big impulse buy, even coming from you. Not that I'm complaining.
I feel elation when I hear those words from him. Elation. It's not every day one is able to please someone like Luke. He gives away false flattery to sway those who starve for his attention and approval. But in the privacy of closed doors, he would often express his grievance. He neither censored himself in front of me nor spared me from his criticism.
You have been saying the penthouse was getting a bit too small for you. Happy anniversary.
Oh, that time of the year already?
He forgot about it last year too. I understand that he's a busy man, but
Is that why you want to buy it?
Yes, you don't like it?
I do. But I remember you used to talk about how you wanted to live next to the beach.
Botany Bay can't. I remember the sea water that stretched on for miles and miles as far as the eye can see. As a kid, I loved our beach trips, swimming all day as much as I could. I was a well-behaved child, and the only time I was ever truly difficult was when I refused to get out of the waters, even when my fingers had gone all wrinkly. And even when they managed to pull me out of the water, there's always a sandcastles. The day before we married, I told Luke I wanted a house on the beach and a dog. And a kid or two. None of those came true 7 years later.
That was a childish dream. Living next to the beach is so impractical if you really think about it.
I don't know. It's not a bad thought to see you in a bathing suit every day.
Maybe another time, love. We still have forever, don't we?
Forever. Nope. He says nothing, only grabbing my hand and holding it tight as we spend the rest of the ride home in silence. I miss the sea. Sick and hovering over the loo at 3 in the morning, the picture I paint right now is hardly glamorous. Or a horribly fishy taste left in my mouth as I throw up what I had for dinner, and I hate the acid stench that fills the lavatory. The burning sensation at the back of my throat is of no help whatsoever. I can feel another wave of nausea come up on me when the doors open.
Hannah, what are you doing so early out of bed?
I'm fine, love. I must have just eaten something bad.
Or you're pregnant. That's all I managed to say before vomiting again into the porcelain throne. Lovely.
Just go back to bed, Luke.
Lovely.
I'm going to clean up here.
Clean up my puke. I refuse to look at him. I don't want him to see me like this. The last time I had a horrible morning stretching into toilet was during my college years, being the life of the party. Thoughtless and shameless, I had thrown away months of frivolous merriment and pointless hookups. I didn't even retain any of the connection I had made from that time. Sure, they will know of me and I still know of them, and we still do business from time to time. But I've lost touch with anyone who I didn't see on a daily basis. I hardly have any of the friends I had when I was still Hannah Evans. Teachers, fellow university students, drinking buddies, and all conquests like Jack. Who's Jack?
No, don't touch me, sweetie. It's disgusting.
I'ma touch you, no matter how disgusting you are. Don't worry about it. You're still hot though.
I'm disgusting.
You're not disgusting, don't say that about yourself. No. Wait a minute, what? Oh, there's no option, it's just straight go into here? Ooh. What's up here though? How do I get up there? How do I get up there? Luke sits, Luke sits down next to me on the toilet floor to hold my hair, even knock off more fish. He wipes the vomit from the corner of my mouth and just stares.
Do I need to fire someone? I don't feel sick.
Just feeling a bit under the weather, dear. It's been
Oh, Luke's being nice to his
hot
wife.
as of late, hasn't it? I do wish it would rain.
Are you sure it wasn't those sweets? We told you not to eat those sweets.
Maybe. Well, don't laugh.
Well, I can't help if you make that sort of face.
Oh, they're having a great moment right now. That's actually very sweet. She starts chuckling and soon, he is in a fit of laughter. This scene happening next to a loo filled with sick just makes the whole thing bizarre, and it nearly makes me start giggling as well. I try to stifle it though as I smack him on the shoulder.
I'm not making a face, Luke. Stop laughing. Shut up.
When he would not stop laughing, I let myself go as laughter bubbles from my own throat and forget whatever ill feel plagues me. We're just husband and wife laughing together at funny faces, the little things in life. Aww. I let myself go because I know these moments will not last forever. But if I just know the terrible things that are come for us, I would have wished with everything I have then and there that the laughter stayed. That is indeed a nice moment.
Higher! Come on now!
The place is bustling with movers, carrying furnishings here and there, along with several trunks of personal belongings taken from our penthouse. So in Isabella, this is where she found the letter. And this is when Isabella went into to watch the movie. Oh, okay. Meanwhile, we are puking in the loo. Luke watches them like a hawk, making sure nothing is handled carelessly or gets stolen.
Careful now. I know your pictures are framed by cheap plastic, but those are framed by African blackwood and are one-of-a-kind commissioned paintings.
Oh my.
Each one is easily worth a lifetime of what you lot make.
Luke, do the dishwashers go into the kitchen or the butler's pantry?
Pantry, Buttercup. Careful, that's Emma. No, you there, put that down. You do not manhandle a Napoleon Abueva.
Napoleon Abuela. I can see the exasperation and I have to send the foreman an apologetic glance. Even Johannes rolls his eye as he goes by. Considering Luke is always like this during project, Johannes and I gotten used to it. Poor Marianne on the other hand looks a bit stressed at seeing a gigantic mess before quickly going back to work. Everything just has to be perfect exactly the way he wants it. One little thing out of place, one little thing that didn't fit the image he clearly constructed in his head, and Luke gets bent out of shape.
Sweetie, why don't we go and sort your suits upstairs? Let your Hans and Marianne and the foreman deal with the rest of the work.
We have this, Mrs. Wright.
Yes, please do go before a blood vessel bursts. Bloodstains are so troublesome to clean.
Taking him by the hand, I led him upstairs into our bedroom. This place has been arranged first so we can get some rest no matter what state the rest of the mansion is in. I am definitely glad I can just lie down on the soft, comfy bed after what has been a busy morning. Watching Luke act like his life depended on getting this move done is tiring all on his own. Sorry, I keep snipping, I can't stop it. And to think I have a whole day of this ahead of me. I feel the bed deep beside me as Luke sits down with a sigh.
Well, I can't wait for this to be over.
I don't know. It's fun seeing you all fired up. Here at home and not at work, you know.
You know I can't always be home, Hana. I have a company to run, unless you've forgotten.
I haven't forgotten. You're the one who insists on being there to make sure each and every little thing is under control. I just really miss you sometimes, and I wish you were at home more often. Why, if you're not careful, I might go a bit loopy and I'll start bringing cats home. And soon enough, one day you'll find yourself going home to a farm just filled with felines that follow you everywhere.
Oh, don't bluff. The things would shred up your precious furniture. Besides, you don't even like cats.
True, true. Dogs are infinitely superior, of course.
Superior? How dare you?
But what about the wet dog smell? The mess? I'm not cleaning up after a mutt, no matter how cute. If you think about it, a cat would be better.
It's not always that we can just lie down and talk about this sort of thing. To joke around as if we're teenagers again with very little problem in the way of responsibilities and roles. To hear his genuine honest to goodness laughter is a rarity. This is just the second time as of late, and I can only see it as a sign of good things to come.
All good points. I guess we could just have kids. That is, if you prefer dealing with soiled nappies and sick as opposed to dead birds, mice, and litter boxes. I've already told Marianne about turning the second bedroom into a children's room.
I guess sometimes I don't know when I'm crossing a line. What's with you giving that with that glare? I didn't say that I am a good comedian, did I?
Not this again.
He really don't like when we talk about kids, huh?
What? I wasn't being serious.
It's not something you take the piss out of. Having a kid is a big responsibility, Hana.
Yeah, but you got a lot of money to waste, so what's the responsibility with that? You got butler as well. You could just make the butler take care of that kid. You know, you could always hire someone. You got the money.
We've talked about this, haven't we? I'm not ready to be a parent. I'd probably end up killing the little brat by the week's end.
Let's see, you're gonna be a great father.
Kylie likes you well enough.
Plus, we got a plus with the look. The mention of our little goddaughter plays a conflicted look on his face. Sometimes it is cute when he denies having a soft spot for a little girl. But then sometimes it's sad and makes me wonder what happened to make him think so poorly of himself in this regard.
Yes, well, it's Kylie. The tyke likes everybody and, on the off chance she doesn't, likes them well enough as long as they buy her sweets. And sure, that kid is great. But if I get tired of her, I can ship her back to her father at the end of the day. Having kids of our own will be a whole different monster entirely.
I have never heard him talk about his father in anything but a business context. I recall Damien Wright keep hearing about him from my own father even before I met Luke. The business world praised him for running a tight ship, all until one mistake led to a great loss for the enterprise. It was then that news of Luke Wright, prodigy son and successor to the old man, started to show up, and he aided in its recovery and growth up until the Great Recession. I'm getting a bit off track. Regardless, I've never heard him talk about his father like one would talk about family.
I think you'll be a great father.
There is a smile no matter how half-hearted it may be. I do really think that. He might not be a good, honest man, a part of me knows that, though I try to silence it. But I know Luke well enough that he will be a better father than either Damien Bright or Henry Evans. I love my father. But he never had the time.
If it is any consolation, I think you'd be a decent mother.
On the other hand, I have never heard of his mother. A silence settles both comfortable and uncomfortable. There is familiarity in each one's company despite the awkwardness that had transpired. Defense and mask down without anybody else looking. We are both together and alone in this quiet. But a crash from downstairs startles us both out of our reverie. Luke lets up a heavy sigh before coming up to his feet, straightening his jacket.
I'll have to attend to that then.
Be good, darling. And watch out for your blood pressure.
He gave me a kiss on the cheek before leaving, while I lay there in a daze. Alone as per usual. I really should be used to it by now. I can feel the minutes tick by with me just lying there, feeling miserable and full of self-pity. I have rolled over to lie on my stomach at this point with my face buried into pillows when there's a knock on the door. Grumbling at them to go away doesn't work as voice comes from the other side.
Madam, the photographer from Luxury Living is here.
Wait, is that today? Oh yes. People had caught wind of our new mansion the very moment we left the open house. Luke had boasted he could acquire the property in no time and allowed photo shoot for an interior design magazine to be scheduled today. Well, there were complications and it took longer than it usually does for us.
In a minute, Hansi.
Your Highness, if you could at least make it through the end.
Tell them I'll be right down, Hansi.
The mansion grounds has been one of the first things to be fixed up aside from the bedroom. Although it's still work in progress, it had a promising start and I can already see the flower patches. Luke's favorite daffodils stands out easily, having been transplanted from the pots that used to litter the rooftop of our penthouse. Why, if the moving crew thought that if Luke was being hard on them, they clearly didn't see the landscrapers on his way out. The man looked like he was about ready to faint and Luke seemed ready to kill him by the end of the discussion. It is in the garden that I see him standing near the flowers in quiet admiration. He is hard to miss, the hulk of a man that clearly did not belong, and the big backpack suitcase he has with him makes him look much larger. It is a peculiar sight seeing someone who looks like he does handling little delicate things with such care. He looks up from the gardens and does a double take before friendly face replaces his serene expression.
Miss Wright, yeah? Hi, Zachary Steele here from Luxury Living, ma'am. Hope you weren't waiting too long. But it looks like you're still moving in, huh? Thought for a second there my calendar was wrong and I came here too early.
You look familiar. Have we met?
Yo, what's this? What is this, boy? There's a twins. Is this a twins? What's this? Is this supposed to be a spoiler? That they're gonna have a twin in the future or something? Yo, what is this? What is this? This is what? We just straight ahead skip this. Whoa, son, the sun. There's a lot of things going on here, and I don't know which is which. Which is which, huh? I don't know. But okay, okay. I have a very wide social circle, so everyone looks familiar at one point or another. but one would think I'd remember someone who stands out like him. The struggle to recall might have been evident on my face as he quickly and kindly answered my question.
Oh, I was with Isabella, your estate agent, when she had the house blessed.
House bless.
Oh, yes, that's right. Small world, isn't it?
Should have known you were Miss Right.
Oh wait, let me check. Alright, we're gonna stop when it goes to here, okay?
The one and only. Welcome, welcome to Maison de Right.
My son the right.
And yes, we've been in
The
the
mansion of
process
the right.
moving in as we were delayed. They're just adding a few things here and there, and you should still be able to do your work. Where's the rest of your crew then, Mr. Steele?
Zach is fine, please. Mr. Steele makes me feel like I'm a mascot for a cleaning product. Anyway, I'll be your one-man crew for today. Don't worry, been doing this gig for a while now.
You must be quite the veteran to handle this on your own. We've had a full crew coming into our penthouse the last time we were covered in your magazine.
Veteran? Oh, your words are too kind, Miss Wright.
Hannah, if I get to call you Zach, you have my permission to call me Hannah.
Alrighty then. Anyway, I'm no veteran, but I know my camera well enough to make sure this is a good shoot. You can trust me on that, Miss Wright. Hannah.
Mon Dieu de la photographie. He is kind and courteous, listening and following as I lead him around the house. A really nice fellow, and he treats our household staff well whenever we cross paths with them. I answer this question for the best of my ability. He is patient enough to answer mine whenever I get curious enough. For one, I asked what the bags are for. They are quite the magician's toolkit. From inside, he had procured several items to embellish the interior with: bowls of fruits, lemons, trays with peppermilk, stacks of books, cutting boards and glass canister filled with colorful nuts and grains are brought into the kitchen for setting. For the bathroom, there are white towels, seashells, and decorative soaps. There are other things as well, 2 numbers to count, all in that large backpack and suitcase.
Tricks of the trade. Softens up a room, makes a place feel more homey, and fills it up with texture. But you guys probably have better stuff I can use for this.
No lights. Don't tell me all of these are just props.
Well, I've got my tripod here. For things like these, natural light is best. I'll just have to set the shutter speed to a real slow setting, and as long as nobody steps into the shot, it'll look great.
Oh, it better.
We go through the room one more time, although we first tackle the ones that the movers have no business in anymore. The ballroom needs a little preparation with its grand design. Although there is some trouble at first with the wide open space and the pictures being backlit. It is in the picture that Zachary's props comes in handy, considering how Johannes keep the place so neat and sterile, one can practically eat off the floor. We carry on touring the house and taking pictures where we can, with exceptions to the rooms we have yet to gain any purpose or design. Too bad I can't take a sneak peek at his photos yet. Funnily enough, he is using traditional camera. I didn't even know film still existed. By the way he speaks, however, I can see that he knows enough of his craft that I'm not too worried about botched photograph. I imagine photography must be cataract for him, judging by how easy he looks while taking pictures. There are small snippets of conversation in between the clicking of the camera. He even goes as far as talk about these terminologies like shutter speeds and aperture when I ask about technical aspects. I can't quite see the picture as it is made, much like when I watch artists paint on their canvas. But just watching someone passionately practicing their craft such as this is exciting in its own way. Going through the many rooms has been quite an exercise for both of us. Despite that, he has been so nice and I find myself putting on my best smile. But as we taking pictures in the foyer, that everything comes into standstill for a moment. Just a moment, and had I not been paying attention, I would have been noticed. It's merely a split second when Zachary's rhythm is put to a halt. His finger doesn't move to release the shutter. Yet he also doesn't pull the camera away from his face, gaze still firmly fixed through the... Oh shit. His hands shake and there's a light sheen in sweat on his forehead.
Zachary?
No response.
Zach? Is something the matter?
Lowering his camera, he blinks and stares at something behind me before shaking his head. Turning around though, I see nothing that could have gotten his attention.
Oh, no, there's nothing wrong. I just remembered something that's all. Let's get back to the pictures. Can you move a bit more to the left, yeah?
I struggle to respond this time. There's a sudden weight on my back and indescribable tightness around my throat. Everything stops, and everything starts again as I manage to choke out.
If you're sure.
I don't know what just happened. It was probably just a dizzy spell. I'm fine. And he said he's fine. We continue at the same pace as before, although there's an unspoken agreement that we will not talk about what happened.
So, is this a full-time job for you then?
Nah, I just freelance mostly for magazines, newspapers, and events. So you can't really call it a full-time job. It's fun and it puts food on the table, but it's not what I really want to do. At least, not all the time.
What is it that you want to do then?
Maybe I have been out of the line sticking my nose into people's business, but I can't help but ask. I regret doing so as I see his shoulders slump and the easygoing air he has fades away. He looks torn over whether he wants to talk about it or not.
Films. Documentaries mostly. But cinematography is a lot more difficult than photography, right? I was working on this thing, actually.
What thing?
Well, it wasn't really a big thing.
People didn't like Blue Fonzie very much.
Blue Fonzie. Blue Fonzie?
People don't like a film about colors. I suppose they would have liked Blue Baby a lot more.
Very funny.
So, Grand Director,
Blue Baby.
do you want to tell me what Blue Fonzie is all about?
Blue Fonzie. All these big hard words that I don't even know what the hell that means. He hesitates. But when I refuse to budge on the matter, he gives in and spills it all out. Blue Fonzie. Blue Fonzie la cour, la plus, sombre des noirs britanniques. Wait, what? Let's try that again. Blue Fonzie les horse la plus sombre des noirs britanniques. Britanniques. Blue Fonzie les horse la plus sombre des noirs britanniques. Whatever. I gave up. Dark blue, the darkest hours of the black British. Ooh, okay. I knew it. He speaks with passion for one who has gone through the very matter he's concerned with. There's a conviction, knowledge, and experience in his speech. Why, I would have told him that he's an amazing speaker if only I wasn't so engrossed listening. Prejudice and discrimination in schools and in the workplace. Lesser chances for opportunity and higher chance of being treated like criminal. He spoke of black and people of colors in general still being treated like second-class citizens. All because of the colors of the skin. It's just positively riveting and sad. He comes to a point where as he soon loses streams, he looks abashed, realizing that what he had just done.
Sorry, I just got so carried away.
It's fine. It is really so fascinating to watch people talk about their passion after all. You should see how your eyes light up when you speak so fiercely. You do have very beautiful eyes.
Uh-huh. Thanks, I guess.
Are you trying to hit on my Z, man? Is that what you're doing right now, Hannah? I want to say that I understand where he's coming from, but I really don't do that. I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth and I've lived a charmed life. It hasn't been perfect, but the difficulty I've been through pales in comparison to what others experience on a daily basis. I certainly don't know how I would have fared were it any different. Would I still have met Luke and would have still loved me if I was any lesser?
What was your home like? These things you talk about. It sounds like you... Well, I don't mean to pry, I mean.
Live with my older sister and my grandparents. We had a shop selling all sorts of things below our Sorry, flat. And well, I was one of the few non-white, non-British students in class. I didn't get pushed around or anything straight up. Even then, I was one of the biggest kids around. But a pencil and notebook would go missing, you know?
Oh, that I knew. Children can be so cruel at times. Of course, it may be slightly different story when you have a personal guards and the stolen item is not a pencil but an expensive heirloom.
So what about you? How you liking your new house? It's pretty impressive.
It's nice, I suppose.
You suppose? Not big enough?
What? No, oh, don't be a bully. It's just that.
I understand if you don't want to talk about it.
I was a little girl all dolled up and treated like a fragile porcelain with nursemaids waiting to me and hand food. All the material possessions anyone could have ever wanted I would ask for on a whim, and it would be handed to me just like that. But I barely saw my parents, just goodbye kisses in the morning before they went off to who knows where we're needed to next. I saw them more often on the telly or in the papers than I ever did in person.
I remember my old house. It was a lot like this one. Big walls and big halls, but nobody in it. Not really. It makes you think how alone you are.
A pensive mood overcomes us, and there's a moment where neither of us are sure of how to go on from there. Things have gotten a bit too personal, yet it isn't wholly uncomfortable as if we have been friends before.
Well, that's normal, ain't it? You just moved here. You'll make home out of it yet.
He certainly makes it easy to believe that. My childhood house is indeed a lot like this one, just as large and extravagant, and just as empty. I hope he's right.
So, Monsieur le Photographe, you've covered the one and only Ermengarde mansion. What's next on the agenda?
The interview?
Boring. It's an interior design and housing magazine.
And they want to know what Miss Wright has to say about her interior design and house.
Honor Wright thinks she bought a magnificent house that she can certainly brag about. You know what they should print more of? I watched an interesting documentary the other day. Bleu Foncé, the darkest hours of the Black British. I recommend you watch it. Those are the things that people should know about. What do they care if I use a purple or green bowl of fruit in my kitchen?
People, right?
Oui. People are shite.
Shite! Shit!
What do you think? Do I look good with this angle?
I strike a pose while he's being busy, looking taken aback for a moment, probably not expecting me to just go and say such a crass word. Oh yeah. But he recovers quickly, and after snapping a few shots, he grins. Ooh, Zach likes what he sees.
Yeah, vous êtes belle.
Vous êtes belle.
You want copies of these ones?
Yes, please. So, the big boy knows French. You must have wooed a few ladies. Unless you're into gents. Either way, French is, after all, the language of romance.
Is that so? Why don't you teach me some French, Hannah? How about that, huh? Teach me some of that love language. Some love.
Oh, I don't know about quoting fancy poetry, but I've made lunch for a girl before, and they did like that fancy French cuisine.
Can you cook your best?
Bouilla what base? A what? Bouilla la base? I don't know how to say that.
I can cook just about anything as long as I know the recipe.
Oh my god, Z-Man is like the most reliable person in this world. He's too perfect. Why are we no match?
C'est magnifique.
C'est magnifique quit. It has been long since I had a nice and proper chat with a good friend. No, he's certainly not a good friend. And although we just met, Zachary is the sort of who can probably befriend anyone. He's just a comfortable person to be around with. A bit too comfortable. Oh. No, Hannah. You got a husband? No cheating on you. No cheating for you. The photo shoot went by a breeze. And somehow along the way, as we talk and laugh, I find myself getting a bit too close without realizing. He'll give me this strange look until back off, and he'll go back asking questions after I agreed to do his little interview. And it's just odd. Well, no, me being friendly isn't that odd, that's how I am. Zach. Zach is the one that's being odd. Why anyone would absolutely welcome the extra attention I give them. He, on the other hand, looks almost flustered about it. Because you look so fine, Hannah. And you look so flirty. He should be used to different personalities by now, having to deal with various people when he works. And if not, he needs to start. Perhaps nobody has shown him attention of this kind, but he's a big boy. He should be able to handle me. Ooh. Ooh. All it is a friendly touch here, a smile there, and a gentle swaying of the hips as I move around. Zachary grew and grew more red every time he noticed. Am I being mean as I find enjoyment in seeing him unravel? Perhaps. This went on during the interview and beyond that. There's nothing wrong with what we're doing, right? It's wrong, Hannah, it's wrong. You try to woo him. You gotta be more preservative than that. Zachary and I just being playful, friendly chat while enjoying the outside view. At least that's how I see it.
I'm sorry, but I'm really getting distracted. Could you maybe stop doing that?
Stop? I'm not sure if I want to though. Alright, we're gonna stop right here. Alright, this is where we stop as well. We're gonna stop our recording, so I hope anybody that's watching this enjoyed it. And we'll see you next time. Next damn time. I'm gonna save it here just in case. And for the branching, continue and teasing. Okay. Alright, that's it. Thank you for being here. Thank you.